calls here with the ace-jack.
Jungleman is the chip leader. Ivey with 2 pair. He's been firing out a lot. He kind of gives me the vibe he's going to fire out on this flop as well. 150,000. 175. Jungleman with ace-jack high probably will call here, just because he can make the nut straight. Occasionally has the best hand. Gorski lets it go, so 66% chance for Ivey to win this pot. And
wow, there's the card for Jungleman.
that's the card he was looking for, but Ivey's hand actually doesn't look very good here. Just bottom 2 pair is not a hand you want to put in a lot of chips with. Let's see if so Jungleman. Okay, he needs to think, what does Ivey have to bet the flop and now check the turn queen? When he checks the turn queen, it looks like he's got a weak hand. So bottom 2 pair makes a lot of sense. Maybe like king 8, king 10 occasionally. Might check here because there's a lot of better 2 pairs, a lot of straights. So he needs to size in a way that these hands would call to bet. I think he's going to think that if Ivey had a straight, he would just keep betting again. So he needs to size. So that's why he's going for this smaller sizing here, about half the pot. Trying to get called by these 1 pair hands or weak 2 pair hands. Maybe like king jack. 300,000. So Jungleman perfectly reading the situation. So it's going to get Ivey to call again. Because Ivey's not sure where he's at right now. So it just calls. Oftentimes when you have a strong hand, you see a small bet, you're just like, okay, let's see what you do on the river.
Wow, and Ivey catches up on the river. He boats up.
He checks now. Jungleman, he doesn't know that he's behind here. He's going to bet. And again, he needs to bet in a way that a hand he wants to get. So I guess, what is he trying to get called by? Jack 10? Jack 10, right? Makes a lot of sense. Jack 10 of spades. Yeah, something like that. Because he doesn't expect his opponent to call a naked king, I think, for a big bet on the river. So he needs to bet.
Yeah, I mean, for that reason, Jungleman might actually be considering a check here.
He should consider a check. I don't think Jungleman's going to check, though. But he should strongly consider it. He is going to... It seems like he's going to bet. Maybe like 600,000 to 700,000. We'll see what he does. So it is going to be about 625. Trying to get called.
Not straight.
Yeah, quick call by Ivey. And
bad bet, I guess.
Jungleman just loses that pot. So Ivey just calls with bottom boat. I think he figures that the straight won't call if he raises. So if he raises, he's only getting better hands to put more chips in. So that's why he just called there.
Phil Ivey rakes in a big one.
A hand through. Ivey was a bit suspicious, actually.
After Jungleman wins that pot, these 2 players are back to being very close in chip stacks here. Ivey with just a couple 100,000 more chips than Jungleman.
King 9-6 rainbow. So, generally speaking, they have been checking their mid pairs and their over pairs that became mid pairs as well. Is Jungleman going to keep firing here? No, he just checked, so he's going to go along with that strategy. And Ivey's been checking down his mid pairs and check bottom pairs a lot. Ivey has a pair and a straight draw and actually has 46% chance to win. And he got there on the river. Jungleman's going to check again, and Ivey's going to bet. Question is, can Jungleman pick off a bluff? Every time this has happened, check, 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 and check, and Ivey has bet. Ivey has been showing down the goods lately. I don't know why. I don't think Jungleman will bet here. It just seems really weird that he would bet all of a sudden. But maybe he's like he's really mixing up his play, I guess, because he was not taking these lines with these pairs. It just seems very. I don't know. Is this like a blocker bet? It's very weird.
No, I think he's betting for value.
Yeah, it's no good.
I don't think he expects Ivy to ever have a king. Ivy could certainly have a 9.
I mean, I guess what's he trying to get called by? Pocket 10s? An 8?
Slow smirk.
Probably talking to somebody in the tournaments.
All right, so Ivy's got pocket 10s here. And he's going to shove all in.
Easy peasy. It's, when I saw the 8-6, I thought it was Rui Kao's cards, and I was like, well, we'll see what he does.
Doesn't matter. Call?
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so Ivy's all in with pocket 10s against pocket queens of Arnaud. It's in trouble.
Some possibilities there.
Yeah,
some hearts, some straight draws perhaps.
Yeah, he's got 20. Okay, well, he's got 7% now.
All right then.
Did Nick hit and run, or did he jump?
Oh my God!
Lucky flick.
Yeah, show you doing that tricks.
Ivy flicking his bullet card properly to get that 10, he says.
Wow.
Some kind of tricks.
That's unfair when a guy like Phil Ivey hits hands like that.
Yeah.
Are you in?
Yeah, that looks like a new entry ticket. This is possibly Alan Sass's 3rd buy-in into the tournament.
Don't fold just yet.
So Sass here of 9-6 offsuit. He's going to shove all in. Ivy's going to make a quick call of pocket jacks.
Fake fold? What was that?
I didn't know you got a hand.
Oh,
I was just folding.
you gotta go for it.
Pretty funny.
So Alan Sass, 3rd buy-in in. All in first hand of 9-6. Flops 2 pair. Ivy still has 40%. Wow.
Ivy gonna Ivy though.
Ivy still can do it again. He hit a 10 last hand. He's hit a jack.
Oh
jack
my God, no
Ivy
way!
Gonna Ivy.
No way.
Give him the red.
Ivy gonna Ivy. Again.
That is ridiculous.
30注啊，接唔接咧？啤啫？
接啦，
啊？
接啦
30幾接啊
，flip 喎，我應該我咧。
Well, the 2 red jacks of Yang did not want to call, and now the 2 red queens for Ivan Leow want to get it all in. Up front under the gun. And 2 red aces for Phil Ivey, whose patience appears to have been rewarded. Snap calling.
Yeah, he's happy to just be heads up here. He doesn't want anybody else to call.
And he does have Ivan Leow covered, so in case of emergency, he'll still have 240,000 left, and Leow knows this is a very bad situation for him.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets. 73% equity pre-flop.
Both suits covered.
去頭位，去咗呢個位。
Ivan looking for a queen. Oh, there it is.
Wow, Queen 9-8, and you see the look on Ivy's face. He is not amused. Turn card, is a 7, and now Ivy does have a straight draw.
Yeah, 6 would make him a straight here.
So he picks up 4 outs. 6 total, but he needs help, and there is the 6 on the river. Runner, runner. Top set gets downed by the 9 high straight, and perhaps a bit of justice, as aces are supposed to beat queens. Ivan Leow with a glimmer of hope.
Wow, what a run out.
With ICM in the tournaments, perhaps he was not wanting to go ahead and do that, with Ivan being just about as short as Ivy. So we have Jason Coon limping aces under the gun, and Leow with a hand that's tough to resist, 9-10 suited.
He just calls, so it's gonna protect him from getting blown off his hand. If he had raised, certainly Coon would have re-raised all in. We got a 4-way pot. Ivy's gonna check.
4 players.
So this board is tricky. Everyone's got a little piece here. Look, Jason Coon has pocket aces, but you know what? He's not even in first place to win his hand. Well, that turn changes things.
Well, Ivy is now obviously the favorite with the straight.
Yeah, he's got the straight. You've seen, what do you mean he has a straight? Well, the ace acts as a 5, so he's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
This is part of the problem with just taking a passive line with aces. You allow the button to come in for free. Ivy with a junk hand on the button, but now turns the nuts.
Well, it's not the literal nuts.
Right.
But the reason we say it's the nuts is that most of the time someone has 10-8, they would just bet this flop because it's too drawy. But look, Pogorski's calling with King-Jack. He just has a pair of jacks.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
I mean, he just got a lot of chips. It's like, maybe he can find some cards on the turn that he could turn the bluff. But
that's a...
Ivy's
I have no idea why Pogorski made this call here.
Now, Coon here, he's got top set. It's a tough spot.
Coon is going to call.
He should be calling because it feels like he beats too many hands.
I mean, Ivy's hand looks like a straight, but Coon has decent equity against a straight here. He's getting not a terrible price. I would be shocked if Coon folds.
As long as Ivy has some hands occasionally that aren't a straight, you know, and it's only 1 million chips. Now, if Ivy shoved like 2 million, this would be a tough spot. But
I mean, it's less than 900K to call.
Yeah, I think Coon's just going to. He needs to call here. If ever Ivy doesn't have a straight here, he'd be making a massive mistake if he had fold. But I mean, Coon's thinking about it. It's about 880,000 more to him. In short deck, it's easier for him to boat up than in normal no limit hold'em, so he is getting better odds in this game.
He requires about 35% equity to call. The worst equity he could possibly have is 35% here. So unless Coon is considering folding for ICM consideration,
he just needs to make sure the odds are. Yeah, so you put him on 6-8.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. But Coon makes the correct call, and now Coon has 36% going to the river. He actually slightly made chips by making that call.
Yeah. I mean, he did know that he had 8-6. He just needed to make sure the math was right. And there's the river 10.
Cards at 10, and Ivy will double up against Jason Coon.
8-6 offsuit. So Ivy playing pretty solid today, and it's doubled up to 2.5 million.
1,060,000. Nice.
Elton, one of the worst hands here in this game. King 6 on the cutoff.
Yep.
Only has to go through Phil Ivey though.
Paint and a 6 offsuit are really undesirable holdings here in short deck.
Does call though only 40,000 to call. Pot already 320,000 now. And Phil Ivey debating whether to try to steal it right there or see a flop in position. Does check it. Oh.
Tens full of sixes for Ivy. Doesn't get much better than that. And Sang is actually connected here with a 6.
Yeah, similar spot like he just had where he flopped bottom pair on 9-9-7. Now he flops bottom pair on 10-10-6. Let's see whether he decides to put a small bet out there again. Checks this time. Phil
Ivy
Ivey
has so much hand here, Koray.
Yeah, he wants to to get a little bit of value. Bet small, just 100,000, 30% pot bet.
And the other cool thing about this bet is it could very much look like just an attempt to pick up the pot on this paired board in position.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. We saw Ivy just betting at it with air earlier.
And this is exactly what Ivy wanted to see, is Elton saying, playing back at him under the assumption that Ivy is just stealing.
Yeah, Elton with a small raise here. He has the 6. He thinks he's blocking the full house. I mean, it is more like, or it is less likely that Phil Ivey has it, but this time he does have it. Of course, just smooth calls.
Yeah.
Wants to keep all the bluffs in.
And Elton did not want to see that. Queen on the turn. And it's saying going to be done with it, or is he going to continue to try to represent?
Yeah, weird spot here. He knows that Phil Ivey could have a hand like 9-7. And Elton would technically be ahead of those. Of course, a bit thin to value bet. Let's see. Yeah, does check it. It's tough for Phil Ivey to put his opponent on a range here. Was that just a stone bluff? Then he should check it back. His opponent could have hit the queen here, though. He's looking to get some value, probably a smaller bet. Yeah, bets a little less than half pot here.
As Elton pumped the brakes, and I suspect he's all done with his hand, Koray. I think he took his one shot there on the flop.
Yeah, that would be very ambitious to call here. Even if he would have the best hand here, there's a river still to come. And he knows that Phil Ivey might bluff at it too, if this was a bluff. But he knows he's up against Phil Ivey. And this is a big pot.
I'm convinced at this point that these two have tremendous history with one another.
Yeah, both Triton regulars, of course.
Feels as though Elton may have some PTSD, a little post-traumatic stress disorder from some bluffs that Ivy has shown him in the past.
Yeah, Phil Ivey just hoping that his opponent has a 10 here maybe also. And Elton is looking at his chips, grabbing them.
No.
No.
Thinks better of it. Obviously, it's the kind of hand that really doesn't like any river.